let's discuss on sleep and food. And if I can tell you, a healthy lifestyle consists of appropriate exercise, healthy food, and of course, good sleep. But there is also a correlation between sleep and hunger. So, for example, if we are sleep deprived, and or rather, if I can say that if we have disturbed sleep, there are two hormones which impact the hunger in this process. So one is ghrelin, the other is leptin. So in normal circumstances, what happens is ghrelin stimulates appetite, whereas leptin decreases it. But suppose if we are sleep deprived, what typically happens is the ghrelin level increases and we have increased urge to have food. On the other hand, the leptin level also falls. So you must have noticed, people who are shift workers or maybe having, are not sleeping well, they possibly have this urge to do binge eating at midnight. Okay, so these are the two hormones, ghrelin and leptin, how they impact our hunger process. In addition to this, one of the most important hormone to induce sleep is possibly melatonin. And melatonin secretion typically depends upon the external cues. The most important external cues is possibly sunlight. So moment there is more sunlight, the sunlight enters through our eyes into the retina and then reaches the brain, the melatonin secretion decreases. And as the sunlight decreases, which is in the evening hours, our melatonin production tend to increase, and somewhere around 8 to 9 o'clock in the night, the melatonin production is almost at the peak. So what I wanted to convey is that there are different hormones, out of which melatonin is one of the most important hormone to induce sleep. And what we should also know is that we can somewhere boost the production of melatonin. So moment we boost the production of melatonin, we are able to sleep better. So let's understand those foods. For example, any food which contains tryptophan. And tryptophan is a dietary protein which helps in the synthesis of melatonin in the body. So foods like banana, milk, almonds, tomatoes, spinach, then barley, sprouted lentils, fish, salmon, particularly the fatty fish, or any fish which is rich in omega-3 fatty acid or lean meat may help, have contain a lot of tryptophan, and this helps in increasing the production of melatonin. The other hand, there is another neurotransmitter which is GABA, which actually is an inhibitory neurotransmitter and also is implicated in reduction of stress. It elevates pain and also boosts sleep. So certain food ingredients like whole grain, lentils, soy, then nuts like walnuts, almonds, sunflower oil, spinach, broccoli, or maybe mushrooms, these also helps in increased production of GABA. But what we should also remember is that whatever food we are taking, our carbohydrate intake should be around 40 to 45%, because if we take too much of carbohydrate, and which is not complex carbohydrate, it hampers our sleep. So when I speak about complex carbohydrate, it basically means having whole grains. So at least 40 to 45% of our food should be complex carbohydrate to get a good sleep. At the same time, we should also ensure that around 15 to 20% of our dietary requirement should be high quality protein to get us good sleep. And of course, we should move away from something which we call as saturated fats if we want to have good food. So these are the things which one can employ if someone wants to get a good sleep. At the same time, there are a couple of tips which I would like to say, like at least have the dinner 2 to 3 hours early, or rather before the time you are planning to go to bed. Milk is a very common food substance which we want to take, but then it really induces sleep, but it should be taken at least an hour or hour and a half before we want to go into sleep. try to have a brief walk post your dinner. The other important thing is restrict your alcohol consumption if you want to have a good sleep, because alcohol hampers with the sleep architecture. At the same time, I think just before going to bed, it's not advisable to drink too much of water, because you would wake up at the night to go to the loo. So from a food perspective, if we follow these few hygiene measures, if we take all the foods which I've just discussed, maybe we would be in a position to get a better sleep. So I think this short session has rather helped us understand what are the key foods which we might want to take, and how it can help us get a good night's sleep. Thank you.